Welcome back to the Beefriend course. Today's lesson is for those of you that are having a hard time making friends and forming deeper relationships, but you can't seem to figure out what you're doing wrong. Chances are you're making some mistakes during your interactions that you might not even be aware of. So today we're going to go over 3 possible mistakes that you might be making. Let's jump right into it. Mistake number 1, annoying sounds and movements. A study conducted by a soundproofing company found that certain sounds seriously annoy people. They did this by having 200 individuals listen to a wide variety of sounds while measuring their heart rate and blood pressure. Surprisingly, at the very top of this list is chewing with your mouth open. So I guess our moms were right when they told us to chew with our mouths closed. They wanted us to be able to make friends. The second most annoying sound apparently is when you accidentally scrape a plate with a fork or knife. That screeching sound, which prior to this study I thought was the most annoying sound in the world. Other sounds on this list are things like cracking your knuckles, clearing your throat, sniffling, and even burping, all of which I don't really mind, but I can see how they could be annoying, especially if you kept on making them during an interaction. And it turns out that these sounds raise the blood pressure of the listeners, which means that they literally stress people out, and that's definitely something that you don't want to do. Now, personally, I think it's fine to sometimes do some of these sounds, right? Sometimes we have to clear our throat when we're eating, but if you're someone who constantly does it during a conversation, it can definitely be annoying. Not only that, but it will lower your perceived value. People notice that you are not aware that you're being annoying, which makes them respect you even less. There are also sounds and movements that annoy people because of what they imply. For example, I was working with someone a couple of weeks ago and they were sighing literally every 10 seconds. And I couldn't help but feel like they didn't want to work with me. You see, sighing is usually done as a way to relieve stress. So if they're sighing so much when talking to me, it sort of feels like I'm stressing them out. And that doesn't make me feel good. Why are you so stressed working with me? Likewise, there are movements like excessive fidgeting, which are also used to relieve stress. These movements can annoy people because of the same reasons I mentioned before. They see you stressed out, so they start to feel stressed out too. This applies to many other body language movements that imply negative emotions, such as crossed arms or what we Americans call resting bitch face. Now, it's important to note that the more sensitive the person you are interacting with, the more you need to be aware of possible annoying sounds or movements because it's more likely to affect them. Moving on to mistake number 2, talking too much. We've all watched videos that simply took way too long to get to the point. In those instances, many of us increase the play speed or click away to find something more entertaining, but we can't do this in real life. It's not polite to tell someone to hurry up or to change the subject while they're speaking. When you talk too much and take too long to get to the point, it's like you're forcing everyone to listen to a 20-minute video when they were expecting a 5-minute one. And what's worse is that most people are too polite to tell you what you're doing wrong. They instead make a mental note that speaking with you isn't that fun, and then they avoid you in the future because they don't want to watch another 20-minute video. This mistake has become even more relevant in recent times. The younger generations have increasingly shorter attention spans, which means if you are someone who talks too much, you'll be avoided even more. Now, yes, there are cases where you can take your sweet time telling a story, such as when your romantic partner tells you that they want to hear every little detail about your childhood. But when it comes to new relationships, it is almost always better to keep things short and sweet, especially when it comes to stories. Now, of course, this is easier said than done. Storytelling in general is a very complicated thing, but luckily for you, I have an entire 2.5-hour course on the subject, which is available for free. Which brings us to the sponsors of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes with topics ranging from things like filmmaking, animating, studying, and of course, storytelling. I decided to upload my entire storytelling course onto Skillshare because it's the best learning platform out there. You can learn just about any skill for a fraction of the cost of what it would take to learn that skill in real life. The first 1,000 people to click on the link in the description box below will get a 1-month trial for free today. Once you do, you can start watching my class, The Art of Storytelling, where I go over everything you need to know about stories, how to tell them, how to use them to improve your friendships, how to use them to persuade people, and even how to change the stories that you tell yourself so that you can increase your self-esteem. This is an incredibly important class that you need to go through if you ever want to master the art of befriending people. Now back to the topic at hand, the final mistake we're going to go over today is getting triggered. Everyone in the world has beliefs or opinions about things that could potentially piss someone else off. That's just how it is. Chances are the person you're interacting with has a controversial opinion about something that they haven't shared with you yet. If you want to build a deeper relationship with them, it's important that you get them to share this stuff with you. This creates a strong sense of trust, and it also makes you more memorable. Which is why you should almost never get upset about someone else's beliefs. Never get triggered. Because if others see you reacting negatively to someone else's belief, they'll become more hesitant to share theirs with you, in fear that you might respond the same way. Personally, I don't mind if someone is a racist, a sexist, a criminal. I don't mind what conspiracy theory they believe in. I will always be curious about why they think this way. If you approach things with this sort of genuine curiosity, people will want to share more with you because they'll know that no matter what they say, you won't get upset. On the other hand, if you get triggered by things easily, others will feel suffocated when talking to you. They'll have to slowly think about what to say and purposely avoid using certain words or sharing their true opinions, which ultimately leads to a very uncomfortable experience, one which they will try to avoid in the future. And that's it. These are 3 mistakes that you might be making. In a future lesson, we'll go over a couple more mistakes. So make sure you hit that bell icon if you don't want to miss it. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.